Thank you. Count with me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! Is it already 2 weeks later? No. Seems like only a few minutes ago we were closing the book on an old year and opening the book on a brand new year. And with every new year came the sound of New Year's resolutions. And I looked around at myself and my life at the time and realized that I finally found the formula for getting from resolutions to results. Now, is it okay if I share it with you? Now, before I jump in, I don't want you to get the impression that I always had everything figured out, because I remember vividly just a few years ago making the resolution that I was going to lose weight, get out of debt, and make more money. But by this time that year, I found myself sitting in the parking lot of Dairy Queen with a small Blizzard and a large fries, using the fries as a spoon, having made the purchase with a credit card. Can anybody relate? What I understood that day and what I want to share this day is the idea that every new year deserves and demands a new you. In order to get different results, I couldn't bring the same me that I kept bringing into every other year, thinking something different was going to happen. For my resolutions to work, I had to have an evolution, and in the middle of that was revolutionary warfare. I mean revolution, the way that you go and fight and form a new government and a new country, not revolution the way you go around and around and around, creating the same result. Question: has anybody here ever struggled with the resolution? What stops you from getting the things that you want in your resolutions? Anybody? Throw it out. You can speak. Fear? Me? Lack of focus? Desire? Time? Comfort? Consistency? Say it again. Know-how? All of these things, I came up as I did the research. I looked at all the things that were holding me back, and they're just like the things that have held you back. And I found one word that encapsulated all of them. It's homeostasis. Homeostasis, homeostasis. It's a psychological condition that causes us to stay where we are comfortable, not too cold, not too hot, right where we are. As a matter of fact, for my friends from my neighborhood on the south side of Atlanta, I just call it, homie, stay right there. And I came to understand what drives that urge. It's only two things that drive any of the things that we do or don't do: pain and pleasure. And the biggest motivator is pain. Now, once again, honest confession, I would love to tell you that I have conquered every aspect of pain and used it to my advantage, but I've done some really silly things with some really simple pains. First, I tried to ignore it. I tried to be macho and just walk it off. Anybody ever fall down in football, know that you're hurt, coach tell you get up and walk it off? You walk it off and drag and pat part of your leg behind you. Then I tried to escape the pain. In one 30-day period, I consumed enough mass quantities of television to convince myself that if I could just break bad enough, I would build an empire and win the Game of Thrones. But what I was really doing was just going around in the same old circles. I was the Walking Dead. And then last, tried to drown my pain in a bottle of vodka. And right there in that crimson haze between inebriation and oblivion, I heard the message. It said, the key to your power is right there in your pain. Are you listening? As I started to listen, I started to understand things that we've all understood. We've just misinterpreted them. See, pain in its natural place has a real important survival benefit. Yes? if you put your hand in the fire, you should take it out. But because of our powers of imagination and mental gymnastics, I found ways to create pain from things that were not in fact painful, and they caused me not to take action on the very things that I said I would do. Did you ever have that fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of success? Didn't make the call, didn't take the appointment, didn't make the meeting, didn't go to the gym, didn't say I love you, didn't do the things that on a small scale don't cause significant pain, but over time they have a cascading effect and prevent us from gaining. The second thing that motivates us is the pleasure. So the first two things, I want to make sure that we keep good track of what we covered so far. First two P's, number one is pain. Embrace the pain and understand that there is no avoiding pain in the human experience. And as Jim Rohn said, we suffer either of two pains, either the pain of regret or the pain of discipline. The difference is that discipline weighs ounces while regret weighs tons. We okay with embracing some pain for long-term pleasure? Now, here's what happens as we go purposely to embrace pain, envision pleasure. Am I about to collapse this stage? The thing that magnifies each and every one of our efforts is purpose. Understanding that no matter how strong our willpower is, our why power is what magnifies, increases, and takes us to that next level. And I have a simple exercise I want to show to prove it to you. If I were to put a 2x4 right here across the stage, how many of you know that you could put one foot in front of the other and walk across a 10-foot 2x4? Yes, we all could. But now if I took that same 2x4 and put it 100 feet up in the sky, how many of you could go across it then? We all could, but we probably wouldn't. But if at the other end of that 100-foot 2x4 was your baby in a burning building, how many of you not only could walk across the 2x4, but could fly across the 10 feet if you needed to? Why is more important than what? Does that make sense? So now where we are, we have pain, pleasure, purpose. Third P is pictures. You gotta envision clearly in your mind yourself on the other side of your outcome. Now, when I was growing up, I didn't really know what this was. I was just writing a list to Santa Claus, wishing and hoping that things would happen. As I got older and started to study attraction, they say in the law that there's a thinking stuff which permeates and penetrates everything in the universe, and a thought in this substance produces a thing imagined by the thought. How many of you want what you want? Well, we got to think about it in pictures, clearly, vividly in our mind, and get those pictures over and over and over repeated so that we can create different outcomes. And as I started to build my picture, I started to realize I had a problem. My house was dirty. So right there while I was building my vision board, on the left of me was a stack of bills. On the other side of me was a stack of business work. And right there in front of me was all of the clutter and chaos from my friends' Facebook and email. I needed to purge. And you probably do too. You got to look at all the things that are in the picture of what you want and figure out the things that don't belong there and start systematically purging those toxic relationships, conversations, and individual conflicts that drive you away from your purpose so that you can stay clear and focused on where you want to go, what you want to do, and who you'll be. Does that make sense? So, in recap of the first 5 P's, which cover what we do mentally, our mental work, we're going to embrace pain so that we can experience and envision the pleasure associated with our purpose while driving consistently to have that picture of ourselves as we'll be, purging all the toxins, poisons, and chaos that clutter us and drag us back to our old selves. In our next segment, when we come back, we'll talk about 5 P's that we'll do to build the ultimate power to take you from pain to power. You'll go from resolution through revolution into that evolution. And the me you see is the me you'll be. Let's blow it up. Thank you.